It's funny how people perceive us out here, like
Outside of who?
us as in Muslims. Like they perceive us as though we're aliens, as if they've never met one or seen one, but in reality, they have.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's known a Muslim at some point in their life. And I just think it's hilarious.
Man, even at my job, just they have a lot of things to say, but then they talk about Muslim, but it's like, oh, Mo, you're the nicest Muslim I've met. I'm like, I might just be the only Muslim you've met.
The only one that they've met and has acknowledged or been forthcoming about their religious faith.
Exactly. I mean, I pray in the office. They see that.
Yeah.
You know.
How was that? Is that awkward?
No, I mean, when it's time, I just kind of leave. I just go in and wash up.
Just slide out.
Just slide out. Say that.
Just be out.
Butter. And then I come back in, and my hair all wet. You know what I'm saying? Like I just woke up, and they're like, "Why is Mo covered in water?" And after that, I remember one time I went into the room, I started praying, and then some girl walked in on me, right? It
was probably so bad, like you were jacking off or something.
She was like, oh my God, I broke his concentration. Oh my God. And I'm sitting there, I'm praying, she's like, oh my God. I'm like, just leave. Just close the door. Oh my God. Like, she acted like I was doing some sort of like voodoo tradition.
Yeah, it's wild. But you know what's even crazier about people's miseducation of what we believe and what we do in terms of ritual prayer? They don't say Muslims, they say Muslims. Or they say either Muslims or they say Muslims. I'm like, yo, they even say it on everywhere. Media, even radio personalities saying Muslims. It's Muslim. Muslim.
So that's how you know they're not even educated, because they can't even say the word.
Exactly. Like, what kills me is, like, I was watching an interview and the interviewee was saying Muslim, but all the interviewers were saying Muslims. Where's your Muslims? Like, really? That's the way y'all gonna do it?
Maybe if we had a Z in there, that'd be Maj. No,
it would be Muslim. I can get it if it was a Z, but it's an S. Yeah. Muslim. See, it's because the English language is crappy, but yeah, man.
But that's kind of like the whole reason that we're doing the show. To kind of show, like, hey, look, these are your Muslims. Muslims are your co-workers. They're your doctors. They're your Uber drivers.
Look, what's his name? Hassan Minaj said the best. He was like, listen, yo, if people are so scared of us, they're like, yo, you know, like a third of the population is Muslim in the world, and if we really want to take you guys out, I'm pretty sure Ahmed would have ran off the road when he was driving that taxi, right? Mohammed number 1,073,000 would have definitely have done something to your food.
But like, just going back to what you're saying, it's like just like any religion or any person of faith, you can't look like a religion. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, you look Muslim. You look Christian. You know what I mean? Is that even possible? Like,
I mean, unless you walk around with like the Pope, but
yeah, you gotta be the one. But I think it's just funny, you know, because you talk about the Pope and stuff like that, and I've talked with Christians and everything like that.
Don't even know he does.
The Pope?
Yeah. Catholics don't even know what the man does.
I thought the Pope was just a spokesperson. You know, he's kind of like...
I said they don't know, and I don't really know 100%. Yeah, we can't, so I digress. But look, maybe we should, like, kind of open up with something. I don't know, how this is the first podcast,
They don't even know who we are.
Shit. They've been listening to it this long, don't know who we are?
No, they're probably just like, who are these guys? They sound so good.
Because we're young, Muslim.
Yes, and handsome.
There we go.
I want you to kick it off, Jay.
All right. Well, what's up, my fellow people, my fellow Muslims, my fellow listeners? My name is Jibreel Salam.
And this is Mohamed Hassan.
Bro, why you put your RV voice? That's weird.
What do you mean? This is my everyday voice.
This is Keith's what? Colin, what's your problem, dude?
Jibreel, you should know, in sales, the one thing I learned is you're always a character. You're never yourself.
Oh, of course.
You know
yeah, of course I am, man. Like,
just like the movie coming out?
Yeah. Sorry to bother you.
But this we want to be ourselves. I think
Exactly.
this is
That's the
whole
fun. That's the fun
show
part
and
about
everything.
this.
So, Mohamed Hassan. I mean, a lot of people do call me Mo, but for this show, please do call me Mohamed. If you address me as Mo, I will respond. You know what I mean? But
What's the point of people call you Mohamed?
until we get to the 5th episode.
After number 5, I only go by Mohamed.
And I mean, so I was born in Egypt, Egyptian American. Came to America when I was about 2.5 years old. So
You're American.
basically American. I mean, you can just tell. Really don't have much of an accent. Probably no accent
black.
at all. Yeah, I'm black. It's funny. Somebody, oh, you from New York? Yo, what? You a thug? I'm actually from Africa. What?
No, you're not.
Egypt's not.
When you've been here for 25 years of your life, you're American.
21.5 years, my friend.
You about as bad as me. I'm from Norfolk Virginia.
I thought you were Sudanese, bro.
Oh, that's what I tell the girls.
Yeah.
But no, I'm a straight up African American. Family came here through slave trade, baby.
So we are best friends.
Met in college, Virginia Wesleyan College.
Yes, a Methodist, 95.8% white school.
Boom.
Boom, boom.
It was like finding a needle in a haystack.
Right. Another 4.2% were unknown.
Bro, you know what I never thought about? Like, it was hard for us as like Muslims, and even like when we first got to school, like black people, to like really connect with somebody. But I never thought about like Hispanics and Asians, because there weren't a lot of them either. I think there was more Hispanics than there were black people. If you take away sports,
Yeah.
because I mean our basketball team maybe had a couple white people in there, but doesn't matter. Doesn't
We'll just
matter.
talk more about us.
Yeah,
Because
talk about
we're more important.
Yeah.
So, no, we're not. But,
Where's the sister?
you know, the main... I mean, the main reason why I even started this podcast, Jibreel's been bugging me to do a podcast for the past 3 years, but I never found anything that I wanted to actually talk about. You know, first it was soccer, but I was like, yeah, I don't like talking about soccer.
That's my thing.
I just like playing. You know, I just like hopping in the field and just balling.
Yeah.
And then he was like, let's talk about business. I'm like, bro, we both broke. You know, we can talk about, you know, how we spend money, came up with different businesses, but this isn't, just kind of give you guys, you know, take a step back and give you more of a clear picture.
Yeah.
This isn't our first venture together.
No.
We do gel very well. We've done, I mean, even in college we did a lot of projects together. We try to work together. We actually started a business. It was a sports entertainment business.
Why you sound confused? Like, yes, it was a sports entertainment business.
Because we tried a lot of different things. I mean,
but that was probably the most like concrete thing we had going in.
It was.
Look, to this day, if we had kept it rolling, I think we'd been good. But like you said, I think this right here is probably the thing that we've started that we feel that we have the most connection with our religious background. We're both Muslim, and we've grown up in an era where, you know, it's very easy to be distracted by the things that are going on.
Sure.
Right? Like we went to, I think a big component is that we went to college, and there was, you know, a lot of things that pulled our attention and you know, pulled our mind away from just being very, very within the Deen. And so with this podcast, like this podcast is meant to reach out to all the young Muslims out there that are, you know, kind of living life right now, and it's very easy to get pulled away from what's actually right or what your upbringing was. If you were raised Muslim. And then for even the people who are just interested in Islam, or they're looking to convert or what have you, you know, we want this to be the real. Like, neither one of us are perfect, and we've never tried to portray that. And I think what happens is that over time, people in your community don't see you as being an individual that can make mistakes. It's very much like you have to uphold this this image. You have to uphold, and I hesitate saying because it always sounds bad.
I mean, but it's worse inside. Because for some reason you're trying to, you know, show an image that's squeaky clean, and you're basically not being yourself.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then now you're meeting with people, you're shaking people's hand. Oh, this is your son. He's in college. Oh yes. Oh, assalamu alaikum. Man, he's such a great guy. Yeah.
I mean, look. That's not to say like we bad people.
No,
We're not
no.
crappy people.
We're not bad people. It's like, oh man, you know, your son goes to college. I remember up here, he was with the Muslim community, and a lot of people, once they leave home, I don't want to say they necessarily turn into a different person, because in college I feel like you find yourself a little bit.
Yeah,
you start
to come into your own skin, and so you leave that comfort of being around your parents and the Muslim community that you have grown up with, and you start coming to your own.
Yeah.
Now, for instance, like it's funny, we talk about like being a younger Muslim. I think even starting from being a kid, it was like, like me, my experience was I was always the only Muslim kid in school.
I can imagine that.
Yeah, you grew up on the top. It's weird. You grew up on the complete opposite of that.
I am the alt-right. Jibreel's the alt-left.
Muslim power.
But man, dude, I couldn't even imagine that. Like the type of discipline you had to have, and just the solidarity in a way. You did have a community. The community was your parents.
Well, let's get it straight.
Okay.
I had a community.
Okay.
I was part of a small community.
Okay.
Right. That's more than just my parents.
Yep.
But I was the only young Muslim. So I never went to school with any Muslim. I didn't have Muslim friends per se.
Yeah.
I had one, and like I could tell he even knew like from a young age he didn't really follow with the faith like that. He was kind of just there because his parents had him there. But me, I've always had a strong spirituality. And I've always felt very connected with my faith.
Yeah.
So it was easier for me to navigate through my life being the only one, because I knew I wanted to be Muslim. It wasn't like my parents would just raise me Muslim. It was like it made sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I had Christian friends, I had Jewish friends. I did a lot of research on Hinduism and Buddhism. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm just here because of my parents. It was like, I want to be here.
Yeah. Sound like you had the quality though. You had the quality. I had the quantity. All my homies were Muslim, but not really much Muslim actions were going on. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
Oh, you're Muslim, bro? What's going on, bro? Yeah, you were at the club. Yeah, me too, bad. Not even that aspect. Even when we were younger, right? It was like we prayed because our uncles beat it into us. You know what I mean?
You didn't do it because you wanted to do it.
When I was younger, man, my dad worked 24/7. Like leave at 5 or 6 in the morning, come back at 9 or 10 at night. And then my mom was in Egypt, right? This was probably when I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was just home. And everybody that was my neighbors were my cousins, you know what I mean? And when they would come, they never talked about prayer. They never talked about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know what I mean? But they did talk about family and how when it comes to Muslims, you gotta stay with your Muslim brothers. So I will give them that, you know what I mean? Like, hey, we're family, we gotta stick together. But when it comes to fasting, doing different pillars, they really didn't stay strong.
They stayed solid, yeah.
And then my uncle, he was the first person who really instilled Islam in me, but it was through fear. I would come home and I'll be playing PlayStation, and then I hit the door, crack. He's like, "Did you pray?" Run into the room, wash up real quick, and pray. You know what I mean? And as soon as he comes, I'm like, "Dang, we gotta pray." In a way, in a way, it was good and bad. Because the bad thing is that I got into Islam through fear. You know what I mean? And I've always been the type of person that I connect a lot more with love, you know what I mean? Which I'm sure a lot of people are. So if I learn to love...
Kanye.
No, hell no. But if I learn to love God and love the religion, you know what I mean? Then at that point, I would just be doing everything for the sake of my heart. If I'm doing it out of fear, it's not... It would have been different if I feared God, but I just feared the point of disappointing my uncle.
Yeah.
And to kind of wrap, everybody where's the guy going? To wrap it back up, you were talking about that image.
Yeah.
That image of keeping it's that fear that your parents, but I don't want my parents to know what I'm actually doing, like that. Actually, I'm not even Muslim. I'm not practicing.
Man, look, it's funny you say that, because at the end of the day, man, we all make mistakes, right? Sure. And I want anybody who's listening to know, nobody's perfect. Nobody is sin-free. Nobody has never told a lie. And
if you've made a mistake recently, please tweet us. Young N, that's the letter N, Muslim. Young N Muslim on Twitter.
Bang, bang, baby. Nobody's ever gone through life and not made any sort of mistake, big, small, what have you. And I think that for religious youth, it's very hard to talk to your parents and be like, yo, I know we aren't supposed to, do X, Y, Z, but I did it because I was in college, and, you know what I'm saying? Or I did it because I was peer pressured by family members or cousins, and that's what we all did as a group. So it's that happens.
Yeah.
And so I want anybody that's done things, stealing, for example. Anybody that's done stuff like stealing, it's like, yo, it happens, man. But what's important is that you get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and get closer to the life of the Prophet, peace and prayer be upon him, and you learn from where you were. And so when we talk about our lives, it's really telling our truth and saying like, yo, like we're young and we're Muslim and we're also learning.
Yes, we're figuring this out.
Yeah.
We're figuring this out.
Kind of like how we're figuring out this podcast.
Exactly. Yeah. So, bear with us. This is the first one of many. But just like you said, Jibreel, we're trying it out, and coming from different cultures, from an Egyptian culture and just an African culture, is that your parents will tell you to do stuff or not to do things, but not tell you the why.
Yeah, that's not even African culture. That's
just people. Yeah. That's just parents, and at that point, I think that makes matters worse, because my parents were like, "Hey, look, this is why if you pray, you'll have that wholeness inside you." You know what I mean? You'll be able to have that peace within. There's like, hey, pray because God's watching. God's watching regardless if I pray or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And must like, pray. Okay. If I don't pray, you don't pray, you're going to the hellfire. You know what I mean? It's like,
they go very extreme with it without being able to explain anything.
And then it's just, one thing that I was listening to the khutbah on Friday, and one of the imams was like, look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most forgiving person on this planet. You think your parents are forgiving? Think about your mom, the most forgiving person. The ladies, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is 70 times more forgiving than that.
70, I don't even think we can put a number.
We can't put a number. It's just Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. That's how we start. It says Bismillah Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. So as a kid, if I knew that, you're telling me that God's the most forgiving, because a lot of my friends right now, I'm trying to get them down, like, come on, Mo, I'm too far gone, bro. God ain't gonna forgive me, man.
Bro, like I'm doing so much bad. What's funny, man? I think it comes through your actions.
Yeah.
And so you going out and kind of talking to your friends is definitely good, but I think things that you do will count more, because think about when we were doing bad things, right? We were whether we're in school or out of school, and we were, out partying and stuff like that. It's like, yo, we were doing that with other people because those are people we hung around, whether they're older, with the same age, and then eventually it became a habit for us. And so we had other people looking at us, like one of our mutual friends, I'm not going to throw any names out, but I see him now, like going out partying, he's getting, hey, to each his own. He's doing a lot of haram things that don't coincide with our religious beliefs, but yet this person would still blatantly tell somebody, "Oh, I'm Muslim. I don't eat pork. I'm Muslim." It's funny. There was this video. The dude was like, it was two Muslim guys, and the guy was like, "Yo, do you drink?" He was like, "Yeah, of course."
Oh, yeah,
he was like, "Do you drink?" He was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yo, do you smoke?" "Yeah." He was like, "Bro, do you eat pork?" "No, what? No, that's haram."
You stupid, dog?
That's haram.
Ask me a kind of question like that, Muslim, bro.
I'm not.
So I'll slap you right now.
So that's what you see a lot of. You see a lot of people being very hypocritical.
Hypocrisy is the worst.
Exactly.
Hypocrisy is the worst thing.
And what's even worse is that image we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And a big reason why I pulled away from that lifestyle, the partying and all that stuff, right? The big reason why I pulled away from that lifestyle was because I want to be a better Muslim, and I was still very connected in my faith.
Yeah.
I just got into other things that weren't necessarily making me a good Muslim. Like I couldn't go to Juma and talk to brothers and kids and tell them, don't do that.
You were doing things that were pulling you away.
Well, I was being a hypocrite.
Yeah.
I was saying, don't, like, if I go and tell my sisters, yo, don't go out and drink.
Yeah.
But I'm out there drinking. I got pictures online. What's that going to say? And same thing with you. You talk to little cousins or whoever, and you're doing the exact opposite. You need to pray 5 times a day. Prayer comes in, and then you not praying.
Yeah. Because they're going to be like, man, this guy's talking about prayer, but I've never seen him pray.
Exactly.
And that right there, that was my goal in 2017. I was like, you know what? I've always tried to be a good person, study and get better in business. I did that, got better in sales. But one thing I did not do was that I was still a hypocrite. And some of the things I was like, you know what, this year, my goal is to not become a hypocrite. And that's what I strive to do. That's what kind of led me to this podcast too, because if I was doing what I used to do, I couldn't sit up here and talk to you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if I did, I wouldn't be comfortable. It wouldn't be true. It wouldn't be sincere, And from the outside in, it's like, when you were doing those things at the time, you didn't kind of realize how much it was hurting you and how much time it was wasting. And that's just, we can have a podcast, an episode just about time being wasted.
Bro, what? It's funny you said that. And I guess with this first podcast, our intent is for the audience to kind of get to know us, our story. Like you guys know, like I grew up only Muslim. I met Mo. Matter of fact, let's talk about this story really quick.
Talk about it, man.
We got nothing but the time.
Very vividly.
So we, on our first week of college, we get separated into our peer advisor groups, and I remember Senora Risk. She had us and like our roommates and stuff like that, and we were like in a circle outside because we had to do like the name game and all that stuff, and I was like, no, my first
game, we did do that.
Yeah, you remember that? Devontae was there, like a lot of our good friends were there, and so I was like, yo, is this about to be another scenario where I'm about to be the only Muslim? Because I'm at a Methodist college, it's small as a mug, like what's about to go down, right? So we started doing the name game, and Mo was a couple people ahead of me. He goes, yeah, my name is Mohammed Hassan, I'm from Egypt, and I gave him that look like, and he looked at me, I was like, bro, you Muslim? He looked at me, he was like, cuz I even real quick, he was like, yeah, and then turned away.
And then, just to kind of give you some more context, when I came to Virginia Wesleyan, I did not want to be there at all. Because I was, my goal was to go to Virginia Commonwealth University.
Yeah, VCU
out in Richmond, Virginia. And I was like, you know what? I don't know if I was just cocky, really confident, because I was a really, very shy guy when I was younger. I was like, I'm going to walk onto the VCU soccer team, bro. What are you talking about? Everybody wants me. So that was my dream school, because I was a pretty good soccer player back in the day. And then I only applied to one school.
Yo, that's either some arrogance or some straight up stupidity.
If Gary Vee is listening, I put all my eggs in one basket, like you said, cuz.
I went all in.
And it actually worked out for the better.
Yeah, it did kind of work out. Right?
So when I did that, I was like, you know what, I'm going to VCU, I'm in there. And then they sent me a letter in the mail, like, you got waitlisted. My dad was like, what does this mean? I was like, they tell everybody that, man. They're just trying to make more room for me in the classroom.
Bro, they're just playing them hard to get games.
Yeah. Let's give it another week, and it was August. And the paper comes, I'm like, bet, this is it. We celebrated, and they're like, you have been denied. I was like, huh?
No. What was your purpose of going to VCU? Like, why did you want to go there so bad?
So when I was 15 years old, that was the first school I visited because my cousin went there. Okay. And I just loved the fact that it was in the city and there was a lot of Muslims there.
Somebody actually got into VCU.
I know you told me that.
I got a lot of scholarship.
It was a lot of Muslims there.
Wouldn't it have been funny if I was just like, yo, forget you, Muhammad. I'm about to go chill with all the other Muslims at VCU.
Bro, you could have at that point. We wouldn't have kicked it off because you wouldn't have been at
That's funny,
you
right?
know what I mean?
Funny.
I would have just met an amigo and we would have kicked it. We would play soccer 24/7 for
Stop being racist.
No, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, prejudice.
Prejudice, that's what it is. I have a lot of Spanish friends. Shout out to Herndon, Virginia.
Hey.
But so after that happened, they were like, "Oh, my dad's like, you gotta find a school. You can't stay here no more. You can't." He already knows. He already knew what time it was. Like, you cannot stay with your cousins. Like, you will get lost. Okay. That's what happened.
Isn't that funny though? Because like you were at the cusp of going down that road.
And we're gonna definitely be talking about that more. Throughout. I was borderline of being stuck for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's crazy.
And my dad was like, he kind of did like what Moses' mother did. You know what I mean? Put me in the basket. I was like, go. Peace be upon Moses.
Oh my!
He's like,
yo.
And then after I got there, I was like, you know what?
And your cousin was like the hippos and crocodiles, trying to like, come back.
And my cousin like, oh man, you're going. I was like, I gotta make this move. This is for me. And this was when I finally got out of that bubble. I finally kind of got away from that old life, which I'm so glad. And then I came to Wesleyan. My goal was like, man, I was supposed to get in VCU. I'm not talking to nobody here. I'm about to get straight A's and transfer. Whoever talked to me, dog, stiff arm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's funny because you did. We actually weren't friends when we first met, and that's why you.
I had no friends.
That's why you. I didn't have any friends, but
I had no friends on purpose. You was trying to.
I was out there trying to make friends, right? I was like, this about to be the best 4 years of my life. So what's funny about you saying that is like because we not only do we come from two different backgrounds, but we went into college with two different mindsets as well.
Yeah.
But the thing that joined us was something that neither one of us could control, and that was the holy month of Ramadan.
The religion.
Which is the religion brought us together,
That's
right?
crazy. You think about it. Actually, it's actually kind of actually putting the pieces together.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Man, the best of planners. And it was Ramadan. I was like, I'm sitting there, and did you come up to me and say, "Hey, you fasting?" How did
yeah. Because I asked you, because our dorms we were in the same hall too.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny how that worked out, right?
You could have been another.
I could have been another dorm.
Common area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not even. You could have been like in.
I could have been the total. I could have been a whole another.
Yeah.
I could have been V2.
Yep.
But what ended up happening, which was good for us, was that we were both in the same hall. We were both in the same peer advising group, and then I asked him. I was like, "Yo, are you fasting for Ramadan?" Or I don't know what I'm saying, for Ramadan. And then he was like, "Yeah, but you didn't have any food. You didn't have anything to prepare you." My mom was like, "Listen, like Ramadan's starting. You need to go and prepare. So you'll be alright."
And then you invited me over.
Yeah, I invited you over for sahur.
That's what it was. Sahur was the first day, and I was like, all right. I mean, this dude's all right. I mean, he did feed me. It was good.
What does the prophet say, man? Break bread, cause
if you have enough food for one, invite another. You know, and that's exactly what he did. So that was awesome. And then from there, automatically we just every day after that, he either came to his spot, or he came to my spot, and we just kept breaking it fast. Was it about a week or 2 weeks?
Yeah, because when we went, no, Ramadan had actually just started. I think Ramadan was just starting because, if I recall correctly, like when we had graduated, Ramadan was just in the summer. So like Ramadan was actually starting when we first got there. The first week we got there, Ramadan had just started. So what was cool was we were going to the cafeteria and we were like stealing food. Shout out to Miss Paulie and my man.
They sponsored us, so you weren't really stealing. They're like, just take as much as you want.
Yeah, it was all you could eat, but I don't think they meant take all you want in terms of the plates.
All you can eat, not all you can grab. That's what we did.
Yeah, so that was the first thing, and I remember because you used to hang out with your boy Warren, your roommate.
Yeah. And
I didn't really chill with my roommate like that. He was cool, but
we changed his life too. What?
Yeah, we changed his life so much that he left.
You know what he told me? Like for 5 months in, and then we'll go back to the story. He was like, "Well, when I first met you and your family, and your mom and your sister were covered up, my family was terrified because they're from Harrisonburg, Virginia."
Oh, you're talking about Warren? Yeah.
And then he was like, "When I heard that alarm go off, talking about their dad, I was like, my parents didn't know what was going on.
They freaked out.
They thought it was about that time, and they're like, they're about to take us with them." Like, this is not a test. This is a suicide run right now.
Oh my god.
He was like, I thought you guys were legitimately gonna bomb the place and go la 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 la. I mean, at first it was. That's what he told me. At first, I gave him that look. I was like, bro, that's not funny. He's like, bro, I'm so sorry. Then we started laughing.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. During the recording of the podcast, my camera died and I didn't get the rest of it. However, we are on SoundCloud and you can definitely go and listen to the rest of this podcast. We really appreciate all of you who have been listening in, enjoying the start of something that's entirely new for us. However, we're extremely excited to be talking with you all and to, inshallah, grow this audience and make it something very, very special. So I'm gonna leave the links down below, as well as the links to our Twitter and Instagram. And you guys are on the YouTube channel, so while you're here, you might as well subscribe and get ready to see our new episode coming Wednesday, 7 a.m. It'll be dropping on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play. And then at 7 p.m., this will be a full-length video. I promise. So make sure you hit the links below, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I greet you with the greens. Peace. Assalamu alaikum.